entertainment and not professional advice to be used at your own risk. Damon Brand is not. Page 4. Responsible for consequences of your actions. Success depends on the integrity of your workings, the initial conditions of your life, and your natural abilities, so results will vary. The information is provided on the understanding that you will use it in accordance with the laws of your country. Page 5. Words of Power, #1 bestseller in Amazon's occult and magic categories. This wonderful book contains 25 specific magical actions in a simple, easy-to-read format. The magic in this book works. I use it on a daily basis. It's easy and fast to perform a magic action. I've received immediate results by using the methods as described in this book. You can do these rituals immediately and receive quick results. Words of Power will help you to be the Page 6. Person who you really want to be, help you to have talents and abilities that you've always wanted to, and take your life in the direction that you want it to go. The Words of Power helped heal my relationship with my son, and that to me is worth its weight in gold. Thank you for making this book available. This magic works. Nothing more to say. Magical Angels, #1 bestseller in Amazon's occult and magic categories. Page 7. While Damon's previous books were more focused in on certain outcomes, Magical Angels describes angels to help you with a wide variety of outcomes you might want. Really terrific stuff. It is clear-cut and easy to read. His books really work. Another great book by Damon Brand. I have every other book by this author, because all the methods described actually work. This book introduced me to many new angelical beings, and I am excited to work with them all. It covers how to get basically everything you could ever want. Page 8. Magical Cash Book, #1 bestseller in Amazon's occult and magic categories. Enjoy magic. It really works. Give it a chance. This works. Thanks for changing my life. I love this book. The author gets straight to the point. It's easy to understand, so it is great for the novice. I've had great results so far. I would recommend this book to anyone looking to increase their cash flow. Page 9. A little jewel of a book. Easy to read and above all, easy to implement. The Magical Job Seeker. It works. More than one job offer and out of nowhere, kind of like magic. Yes, I got the job. You only need this book, only that. With this book, I believe that a new golden dawn of magic will follow. I have been involved for over 40 years, and I have not had anything work as quickly as what he advises. Page 10. The people who interviewed me loved me, and I didn't have to go through the final rounds of interviews. They just offered me the job. The books written by this author have changed my life, and I am deeply grateful. Thank you, Damon Brand. Magical Seduction, #1 bestseller in Amazon's occult and magic categories. This was a great book to add to my magical collection. In addition to the rituals provided, there are many tips and suggestions to ensure your success and safety. Page 11. Seduction Magic is a book which fills a hitherto largely untouched gap in magical practice, namely the intentional seduction of a partner by magic. This can be anyone who takes your fancy, a coworker, your boss, a local beauty at the gym, whoever you like. Adventures in Sex Magic within days of release. This shot into the top 10 bestsellers for occult and magic on Amazon and continues to be one of my most popular books. You should really check this book out. For those who are new like me, you can. Page 12. Get started right away. And for those who are experienced, you definitely won't be bored. Great read. This book had a lot to offer, and it is written very well. I give it 5 stars. I think anyone that reads this book will enjoy it. Using lust and sex in magic is certainly not new, but Damon brings it to us beginners in a very accessible way. His style is easygoing and relaxed, without losing sight of the material he is teaching. Definitely recommended if you are into practical goal-driven magic. Page 13. Contents: The Wealth Working, the process of wealth, how the rich find their wealth, living with wealth. Wealth you can welcome, decoding the magic, deciding what you want, how long does it take? Am I doing this right and is it safe? Quick money preparation and daily practice, finding the beauty, charging a talisman, how to speak the words. Page 14. The first working, attracting increased wealth. The second working, omnipotence transformation. The third working, attract more money. The fourth working, the talisman of wealth. The fifth working, changes in competition. The sixth working, for wealth and honor. The seventh working, a demon of wealth, when the magic works. Page 15. Page 16. Wealth Working. This book contains a complete magical system for attracting great wealth. This system has been developed over 30 years by a group of occultists working together since we were all young adults. We also received help from more experienced workers along the way. Wealth Magic concentrates the best magic into a series of operations that will enable you to attract the wealth you desire. If you want money, it's yours. You do not have to spend years performing endless spells, or spend months trying to see and talk to strange. Page 17. And dangerous spirits. This method has been concentrated into the purest magic and needs to be performed just once. It takes some time to perform, but it will begin attracting riches from the day that you begin. To be clear, and for the sake of complete honesty, I am not super rich, but I am extremely wealthy compared to where I was last year, and compared to my childhood I feel like a billionaire. To me this is extreme prosperity, because I never have to worry about money. I get to do everything I want to do, go the places I want, and own the things I've always dreamed of having. Page 18. Some of the occultists I work with are super rich because they have more interest in money than I do. How rich you become is up to you. Page 19. Page 20. Page 21. Page 22. Page 23. The process of wealth. Many magic books, even books on financial magic, contain lots of different spells and rituals. The idea is that you can choose something that suits you, or dig around for a spell that appeals to you on any given day. This approach works fine a lot of the time, but it can be extremely frustrating because you open a book and think, am I supposed to be evoking an Olympian god or invoking the spirit of Hecate? It starts to feel like you're playing with lots of minor powers and trivial spells rather than actually causing great change in the world. Page 24. Before you know it, you're trying 10 different methods at once and your house is filled with sigils, candles, altars, incense, and all sorts of images, crystals, and magical gadgets. Most of this junk can be thrown out. I don't even own a magic wand, even though many occultists would say that the crafting of a wand is vital. I use my fingers to make gestures, and it works better than any wand I ever tried. I recently crushed and burned my last magical wand and will never use one again. There is magic that works, and there are process and symbols that give. Page 25. Access to the power. The talismans and sigils used in this book are based on ancient drawings and texts, and we have used the best, and often the most difficult to obtain, sources possible to ensure they are accurate. You can find sigils and spells for just about anything you want online, but so often you are using a corrupt version of the sigil. We have ensured that we went to the oldest sources and draw the sigils anew based on those images to give the ultimate clarity. We tested and tested until we found magic that works the most effectively for the most people. Our aim was to get away from extensive. Page 26. Rituals, offerings, incense burning, and all the other paraphernalia of magic. You may want an altar in your room and a line of burning candles, but most people don't, and they want to practice their magic in secret. That's why this book contains a set of rituals that, carried out in order, will change your life. Page 27. Page 28. How the rich find their wealth. I've often heard it said that wealthy people don't waste their time doing magic rituals. I've also heard the criticism that most occultists are poor. There is truth in both these statements. Many occultists are almost afraid of money, and lots of rich people got to be rich without magic. But there's more to it than that. Many of the super rich used the occult and became wealthy as a result of magic. I don't believe the conspiracy theories about secret societies controlling all the world's wealth. Page 29. Through magic, but I know that extremely rich people have used magic to gain wealth. They keep their magic secret, not out of shame, but because that is a useful part of the process. Secrecy brings strength and power. There are some well-known occultists who perform magic as public figures, of course, but the work contained in this book should be your own secret. There are some magic books that would have you performing prayers and chants every day, burning candles constantly, and begging spirits for help until the day you die. The super rich have learned a better way, and that's what's on offer in this book. It's not the same method used. Page 30. By anybody else, but it accesses the same power. It does take time and effort, but it doesn't require a lifetime of magic. There are many ways to get rich, and there are some people who get there without the slightest knowledge of magic. You can be born into money, you can win money or learn to play the markets. But for many people, magic is the answer, and it can be for you. Page 31. Page 32. Living with wealth. If you use magic that is powerful enough, then you don't need to keep repeating spells and incantations every day. That's because the operations described in this book are not about attracting a little extra cash. This is about a complete change of lifestyle. Magic can and does make such change possible, but you must be willing to live with the consequences of your being wealthy is different to having a good income or being well off. Once you are wealthy, you will make different friends, you will go to different places. Page 33. You will spend your time differently. Wealth opens many doors and makes your old way of life a memory. These magical operations are so powerful that they will change your life, so only go ahead if you are certain that you want the changes that come with wealth. Page 34. Page 35. Wealth. You can welcome the group of occultists that I work with all contributed to this system, but I was chosen to write the books that explain our magic. This decision was made because I'm one of the more successful writers in the group. I work mostly as a novelist and nonfiction writer under a different name, but also because money magic did not come easily to me. Wealth magic was even more difficult for me to grasp. A lot of what you'll find in this book was developed by the other members of my group and then shared with me. If it could work for me, the one who never, page 36, really had that much interest in money, it could work for anybody. I've been using some of the magic in this book for decades to support my writing and make a living. But the deepest wealth magic is something I only started to work on more recently. Not that long ago, I performed the magical operations that you will find in this book, exactly as described, and at last I am catching up to the income levels of my associates. The magic that worked for me can work for you, and bring you the sort of wealth that might even make you uncomfortable. This magic is life-changing, so ensure. Page 37. You know what you want, why you want it, and what you will do with the wealth that's coming to you. Page 38. Page 39. Decoding the magic. In developing this system, we tried everything from do-it-yourself chaos magic to the most ancient and complicated rituals. We took what worked and made it as simple as possible, while still retaining its power. Something we noticed in many of the older texts is that they suggest approaching magic with the innocence of a child. Although this is serious magic, you need to access a part of yourself that acts as though this is all real, just as a child does when playing a game. When a child finishes a game, it's forgotten about. That's how you should. Page 40. Approach the magic. While you are doing it, everything is real, everything you are contacting is out there. After the magic is over, get on with your actual life. I have seen people use this magic, and after a couple of months they say, there are no results, which is jumping to conclusions. There is no faster way to shut your magic down than to reject it in this way. The results are working, in the background. This book doesn't promise instant riches, but it promises change that can lead to wealth. You need to keep doing the work rather than judging the magic. Page 41. You will notice, however, that strings of coincidences begin to occur. Take note of these signs, because they can be a good sign that magic is working. In fact, most occultists believe that magical results occur by shifting reality into a series of coincidences that make it possible for your result to come about. Take note of coincidence. Welcome it as a magical moment, and it will open the way for more magic to occur. It may seem like I've contradicted myself. I said perform the magic and forget about it, but then I said to look for magical signs. To clarify, you should perform the magic and then forget about whether or not was real, whether. Page 42. Worked or whether you did it right. Then, when going about your daily life, do not actively seek out signs, but be open to them, and when signs and coincidences and strange moments occur, recognize them for what they are. Magic. Page 43. Page 44. Deciding what you want. Before you begin the operations, you need to spend some time thinking about what sort of money you'd like to have around you. The way to do this is to think of the life you want and then work backwards. If true prosperity for you would be to buy a house, help out some friends, give something to your parents, get a new car, go on holiday, and set aside enough money to start your own business, then you might need $1 million. You might need less. If you also want to own an airplane and learn to fly, or have your own stables so you can ride horses. Page 45. Again, you may need more money. Work out how you want to spend your days. If you did win the lottery, what would you actually do with your time on a daily basis? Once you'd bought the house, the car, and traveled, what would you do each day? Work that out and you have an idea of the actual wealth you need and desire. Don't just say, I want $40 million in the bank. Why do you want the money, and what will you do with it? Money is meant to flow, and the magic will get money flowing into your life so long as you are going to use that money. You need to think of the ways you are going. Page 46. Use the money and how that would make you feel. Right now, if you're earning $35,000 a year, then $100,000 would make you feel wealthy. By the time you have $100,000 to spare, you'll probably want a better car and a bigger house, so $1 million would be handy. If you've spent much time around millionaires, you'll know that when you hit the first million, that's when you really start to see how much it's possible to earn. With that said, it's important to note that there is so much more to life than money, and you'd be surprised how little it takes to feel wealthy. Most people who are, page 47, struggling only need a little more money to feel rich. I remember there was a time when I felt in the depths of poverty. I then ended up in a situation that gave me access to about $30,000 more cash. With that, I could buy new clothes, a new, modest car, and go to Paris for the first time. I could buy quality dinners out when I wanted, and I no longer worried about money. I felt rich. It was just $30,000, but I realized that the feeling of poverty was broken easily. It doesn't take much. So don't waste your time dreaming of billions unless you want to do what billionaires do, which is to play with money all day. Most billionaires. Page 48. Bored, so unless money actually interests you, don't waste your time with its intricacies. Think of the things you enjoy doing, the places you like to be, the people you want to be around, and the way you want to feel. Get enough money to live that life. However, don't discount the pain of poverty. If you've ever struggled or felt lack, you should remember that feeling of poverty. Magic amplifies what we feel, so some people tell you to forget about poverty and only think about wealth. This is a mistake. Magic is a form of alchemy. Remember the pain and discomfort of poverty, and you can transform that feeling into wealth. Page 49. Page 50. How long does it take? One way to work magic is intensely. You set up an outrageously complex and mind-altering situation and evoke forces that can work for you. Another is to work slowly, gently, with lots of repetition, so that your requests are heard. This book aims for something between these two extremes. This makes it workable for those new to magic and prevents it from taking too much of your time. To become wealthy, you put time into becoming wealthy. You don't just sit back and wait for wealth to appear from nowhere. Wealth comes. Page 51. From actively living out your true will. When you are living the life you truly desire, wealth comes to you. If you're working in a 9-to-5 job, that means you may need to start looking at a promotion, or a different job, or a way to get the boss's job. If you're running a business, it might mean changing your business, or expanding it in new and unexpected ways. It may mean starting a side business. It could be something as radical as writing a novel, starting a band, becoming a public speaker. The most important thing is that you stimulate change that feels right to you. Something that feels daring, but exactly right for who you are. Page 52. Change is vital. If you keep doing what you are doing, you will stay where you are and earn what you've always earned. This working is about unleashing your true will and accepting the wealth that comes with that. So you cannot sit back and hope for a lottery win. Change takes time. This magic works fast. When you look back at the results and the growth in your life, you will be astonished at how fast things have changed. But it's not an overnight fix. During the course of this working, you are setting up a change that will establish your lifestyle for many years to come. Page 53. So be prepared to spend time on this magic. For each part of the working, there is a recommended length of time to perform the working. You can cheat and rush through, or you can take longer. I advise against cheating. You might get some results, but you might just burn yourself out. There is no problem in taking a little longer, but don't spread this out over years. You can, of course, repeat the whole operation a year or so from now if you want to push your wealth up to another level. Something people often find is that once they attain a new income, they want more, so it's fine to refresh the magic and bring in more wealth at some point. Page 54. In the future. Although you only need to perform this operation once to bring in a new level of wealth, the magic will still be there for you in 5 years if you want to repeat the operation and make more money than ever before. From the outset, you will perform the daily practice and a series of 7 ongoing workings. After a few months, the essential work will have been completed. Given how short the rituals are, this is not much to ask for such life-changing magic. How fast you get results depends on your current circumstances, the risks you want to take, how well you know. Page 55. Yourself and your needs and the changes you are willing to accept. I can say with complete certainty that if you follow the instructions, there will be change. To get the most out of that change, see the workings through to the end. Page 56. Page 57. Am I doing this right and is it safe? I get a lot of messages from people worrying about whether they are getting into the right state of mind, whether they are safe, when they should expect results, and so on. I can assure you that if you follow the instructions as set out in this book, the magic will work safely. The book was designed with built-in constraints to ensure that the spirits you contact can do you no harm. There is a lot of propaganda out there trying to frighten you into thinking that this type of magic is dangerous, but we have worked hard to ensure that the system is. Page 58. Safe. If you hear bumps in the night, it's probably because you always hear bumps in the night. If you catch flu, it's because that happens from time to time. Try not to see negative events as being caused by bad magic. Fear is the greatest block to magic, so be assured that everything we have done here will keep you safe. The results you receive will not always be what you expect, and the extent of the wealth you receive on your first attempt will depend on many factors. No matter how good magic, you still have to do something in world that lets. Page 59. Wealth in. You may have an impression of what that may be already, or you may be completely in the dark. Be prepared for change and surprise. Do not be alarmed if there are dramatic changes in your life. When I first performed the omnipotence part of the working, I lost 2 major jobs. It turned out to be a blessing, as the jobs weren't going to pay as well as I'd hoped, and the loss of those jobs made time for me to do other work that paid better. So expect disruption. This requires bravery and trust in the magic. But don't worry that your life will come crashing down around you. You will only get as much change as you seek. Page 60. Resist panic. Expect change and welcome change. If nothing changes, you can't get wealthy, so change is an absolute requirement of a wealth working. Do not assume that just because something bad happens, the magic has turned on you. Do not assume that apparent disasters are going to wreck your life. Commit to the magic and you will get what you truly want. Page 61. Page 62. Quick money. Most people want more money, and the only thing they want more than money is to get it fast. This book is a key to rapid increases in your income, but it doesn't work overnight. It is a long-term strategy aimed at changing your life. If you are desperate for a quick burst of cash, then have a look at the Magical Cash Book, which costs just a few dollars and attracts money within days. That can help get you started and make you feel more relaxed about money. http://galleryofmagic.com. Unlock the Magical Cash Book. Page 63. This is not essential to your wealth project, and I'm not trying to sell you more books. I mentioned the cash book because I know that if I don't, I will receive hundreds of emails from people asking how to make money fast. Wealth magic, after all, is all about the long game. It will make you a lot of money, but it's a long-term working. In the end, it's better to be wealthy a year from now than to have some quick money, but if you are in the depths of poverty, it can be hard to break out into wealth, so remain open-minded to other forms of magic that can assist with this wealth working. Page 64. A few weeks into this operation, there is a ritual to attract more money, so you can wait for that. If you feel confident, you can move to the next chapter and begin the wealth working straight away. It's worth noting that the magic in this book seems to follow a commonly seen pattern. Results can come in an instant, but they often come 3 days, 3 weeks, or 3 months after you begin or complete an operation. Remain open to change from the moment you begin working, but don't start worrying about where the results are going to come from. They will come so long as you keep working your way through. Page 65. Magic. This is one reason why keeping a journal of your activities is useful. You will be amazed how often a breakthrough occurs 3 days, 3 weeks, or 3 months after you began. Sometimes you see a sign on the 3rd day, an increase on the 3rd week, and a big result after 3 months. Page 66. Page 67. Preparation and daily practice. For the first 3 weeks, you only need to take notes and perform the daily practice. Most occultists will tell you to keep a notebook of some kind to record the magic you've done and the results you notice. I suggest that you keep this notebook with you at all times. Make it a digital notebook on your phone if that's easier and more secret, and fill it in after any magical practice. Note down what you did and anything you experienced that was of interest. It can be as simple as writing, did daily practice, did. Page 68. First ritual, felt nothing. Don't feel that you have to talk up the results and make them sound good. You're not fooling anybody, and nobody will ever review this notebook, so write down your doubts if they are on your mind. It might help you to clear them. If you notice unusual coincidences, magical moments, or intuition about any particular subject, write it down in your magical notebook. This is where you can discover the secrets to your own wealth. You may find in these simple notes there are hints and clues about who you are to become. Write freely and easily, make it. Page 69. Quick and do it every day. Then review the book every week or so, or every month or so if you're short of time. You aren't searching for answers here, but allowing yourself to notice changes and patterns. The daily practice itself is something that's simple and enjoyable and an absolutely vital component of this system. It is an essential moment of alchemy that helps you to focus on where you have been and where you are going. The daily practice takes as little as 10 seconds, but can take a minute or two. You don't even have to close your eyes, but make sure you do it with focus. Page 70. Could do the daily practice on the train, but not while driving. So many magic books suggest doing rituals like this upon waking, but I find most people have a spouse, or children, or something else that gets in the way, even if it's just hunger. If you wake in an empty room and have a few moments to yourself, great, but I think it's wise to do this practice in an irregular way. You should perform it every day, but not at an altar or at a specific time. Try to perform this at a different place and time every day. Part of the experience is sensory, and your connection to sensation is a large part of the magic, so a little variety helps. Page 71. The magic is about awareness and change. Notice how you feel, without judgment. Feel free to label your feelings. You may feel tired, nervous, miserable, aching, hungry, sick, happy, loved. Whatever you feel, notice it for a second or two. Notice what you can see, hear, touch, the temperature, anything you can taste or smell, the sense of gravity or any feeling of motion. Notice anything physical. This first part of the practice takes only seconds. You're not trying to catalog every sensation, but just notice exactly where you are, dispassionately. Page 72. Now, quite deliberately, notice the beauty around you. You can look for obvious beauty, trees, flowers, rivers. Or if you're in a filthy street, notice how beautiful the streaks of dirt are on the wall. Notice the dazzle of light on the shattered glass. I think of this as a moment of poetry. You see the world as a poet would, not only noticing beauty, but enjoying it. As you feel this sensation, ask yourself, how did I come to be so wealthy? And ask yourself, why am I this wealthy? You are not meant to answer these questions. You can ask them a few times. You can even think about the level of wealth you specified earlier on, when. Page 73. Decided exactly what it was you wanted, but if you do, think about it in the present tense, as though you have it. Notice beauty and ask yourself, how did I become this wealthy? Why am I this wealthy? If you find yourself thinking or feeling, but I'm not, keep your focus so sharply on the physical sensations of beauty that you have no room in your mind to actually answer the question. Stop any internal monologues by repeating the question, if necessary. Do not attempt to answer the questions. To distract yourself from answering. Page 74. Keep looking for beauty in the world. The entire process can be performed in a short time, and you can stop when you want, but it needs to be done every day. That is the daily practice. Do it every day, knowing that it is a vital part of the system. It might sound like New Age nonsense, and in fact, there are a few New Age authors who have caught on to this and are selling it as self-help. It is based on an ancient alchemy, and it works as effectively as any of the magic in this book. Never underestimate its power. Enjoy finding a moment each day to perform this practice. Page 75. For the first 3 weeks, you need do no other magic. If you want to work on wealth, read non-magical books about money and wealth, learn about how the wealthy live and work, and think about what you can give to the world that may be valued. Your wealth may come through lucky breaks, but it is more likely that you will uncover a valuable skill, talent, or form of genius that will make the wealth rush towards you. That's why you should spend a few weeks in this state. When 3 weeks are up, keep doing the daily practice every day, but move on to charging your first talisman. Page 76. Page 77. Finding the beauty. Some people struggle with the daily practice because they can't see anything particularly beautiful. The point of the working is to make you recognize the beautiful in everything. I have read war poetry that makes the wreckage of a battlefield look beautiful in its own tragic way. And once saw a woman pass out as she was crossing the road, and the grace with which she fell was a beautiful moment. I've traveled on the London Underground and chosen to see beauty in. Page 78. Somebody's filthy fingernails. I once took joy from seeing a row of white insect eggs on the rotting corpse of a rabbit's eyes. Of course, I prefer to look at conventional beauty, people, trees, rivers, clouds, the ocean, but I know beauty can be seen in everything. If you struggle with this, imagine that you've been deprived of your senses for a year. Imagine if you could not see, hear, touch, taste, or smell anything for a year. Imagine how glorious it would be to look at the filthiest corner of the dirtiest street, to touch the grime in. Page 79. Smell the rot. It would be pure joy. The daily practice requires you to find joy in your moment, wherever you are. This is magic. If you're lucky enough to be surrounded by early morning sunlight on the trees and mountains, then it's easy. But if you're stuck in a dingy office, surrounded by people you hate, use your skills to find whatever is beautiful. There will always be something. Page 80. Page 81. Charging a talisman. This book makes use of several sigils and talismans. You can copy them from the book by hand if you are skilled, or download them and print them out from http://galleryofmagic.com. Wealth images. If you print them out, you may find you are able to make a stronger connection with the talisman by drawing gently over the printout. You can use a pencil or marker pen and just redraw over what is already there. To charge talisman, I suggest using page 82. Orant formula. I first read about this process in Mysteria Magica in the mid-80s, and was surprised how rarely I heard about it in the following years. If you want to give power to a physical object, this works. When occult teaching exploded on the internet, I was surprised how infrequently this process was referred to online. There is more material about the Orant formula now than there was a few years ago, but it remains a little elusive and many descriptions are incorrect. It is an extremely effective way to make a piece of paper into something magical. Page 83. Before you begin a working, you should use the Orant formula on your talisman. It only needs to be performed once, and then your talisman is ready for the ritual. This process requires some visualization, but you don't worry if your visualization skills aren't perfect. Do your best and it will work. People worry far too much about their visualization skills because they can't see images in perfect, glowing 3D. Worrying is a waste of energy. Your imagination is good enough and will work without training. Place the talisman on a surface in front of you, preferably at head height, but no. Page 84. Higher. If that's not possible, it can be placed on a table in front of you. The talisman can be on the other side of the room, or just in front of you. Stand up straight, but with your feet slightly apart. Imagine a sphere of light above the crown of your head, with the brilliance of a star. This white light pulsates for a few moments. You then inhale and the brilliance descends through your body to your heart. In your heart, it forms a sphere of golden light which extends out the front of your chest. It's as though the sun is resting. Page 85. Heart, half the sphere inside your body, half outside. Picture this for a moment, breathing normally. Inhale again, and when you exhale, the light descends and forms a white sphere, like shining mist, between your feet. This sphere is half inside the ground and half above the ground. Picture this for a moment, breathing normally. Inhale deeply, and as the light rises, it becomes a rose gold flame that comes to rest in your heart. As you exhale, the rose gold light expands, and once again it is as though you have the sun resting in your chest, protruding out the front of your body, but this time it is a rosy gold. Page 86. Be aware that there is still a white starlight sphere above your head, and a misty sphere of white between your feet, and retain awareness of these two lights, as well as the rose gold in your chest. Now raise your arms in the orange gesture as shown, towards your talisman. Page 87. Page 88. Your upper arms should be level with the ground, with your forearms at an angle of about 45 degrees. Turn your palms towards the talisman, keeping the fingers together without force. Focus your eyes and palms towards the talisman. Breathe in, and feel the rose gold light in your chest shine brighter, and as you exhale, the light travels from your chest to your arms, down your arms and through your palms, projecting two golden rays of light that converge on your talisman. Feel free to move your arms together, and shift your palms to focus on talisman more intently, but only once. Page 89. Initial burst of light has come forth from this traditional gesture. If you see nothing, and feel like you are merely pretending, that is fine. You may find that sometimes you see this all as though it is actually happening. Other times it will be less impressive. So long as you do the work of picturing these lights, the energy will do its work. Do not try to put a specific power into the talisman. Don't, for example, try to fill it with wealth energy. You are simply giving it raw power. The shape and coding printed or drawn on the talisman will determine how that power is integrated. Page 90. You only need to let the energy leave your hands for the space of one outgoing breath, and then cross your arms on your chest. Your left hand fingertips should tap your right shoulder to end the ritual. Let all light dissipate. You may find that the talisman still appears to glow, or has a certain life about it. Treat it with respect and store it carefully, where it will not be disturbed by other people. Page 91. Page 92. How to speak the words. The rituals in this book contain many names, sounds, and phrases that will not be familiar to you. The words used in this book are sometimes English, Latin, Hebrew, and there are some words with obscure origins. Everything can be pronounced in several ways depending on how you interpret the original language, your native language, and your local accent. I have included a phonetic pronunciation beneath the words in parenthesis. This pronunciation will work. Where it says descendimus ab air, you will see the words desk and I am. Page 93. A ab air, which show you exactly how to say the words. You do not need to know what they mean. Many people would pronounce these words differently. The pronunciation contained in this book is not always conventional or even consistent, but has been carefully researched and tested to get results. You can trust that it will work. Let the words vibrate from the base of your lungs, rising through your throat and out of your mouth as though you are speaking them to the horizon. They should not be whispered, but allowed to resonate in your throat as they pass out. Page 94. This may not always be possible if you require privacy. If you cannot say them out loud, whispering is better than nothing. If you must perform the work in silence, you can say the words in your head. Ideally, find a time and space where you can rattle them out of your throat as though you are calling to the ends of the universe. Page 95. Page 96. The first working, attracting increased wealth. When you have performed the daily practice for 3 weeks, you may already be noticing changes in your life. You should be ready to start attracting increased wealth. This first working can be dramatic or gentle in terms of results, but it is generally less disruptive than the rituals that follow. This enables you to get into the magic slowly, while giving you the satisfaction of seeing more money come into your life. This ritual is designed to bring more money to you generally, and is not necessarily about changing your life. Page 97. Completely. It is a good introduction to the power and should give you confidence to move into the more chaotic and imaginative rituals that bring the shock of real wealth. Do not skip this ritual. As a reminder, you should work through this book in order. You should perform this first working every day for 17 days. If you have to miss a day or two, that is acceptable. Just add a few more days of ritual practice at the end to make sure you've done at least 17 days. You can start this ritual on any day of the week, and it can be performed at any. Page 98. Time of the day or night. The first part of the working is a simple visualization. I was reluctant to use this magic personally because it seemed ludicrous, but the more I researched the origins of the technique, the more intrigued I became. At the behest of my colleagues, I used the visualization as well as the ritual, and the results were impressive. Even if you find visualization a little underwhelming, I urge you to carry out the entire ritual as described. Go outside and find a small piece of wood, such as a tiny twig or a pinch of earth. Come back inside, find a space. Page 99. Work face north and throw this earth or twig on the ground in front of you. It can be cleared away an hour or so after the ritual is done. If you use a small enough pinch of earth, it can be left until the 17 days are up and then cleared away into a golden space. You must now open the square. Reach in with your fingertip and drag the right hand edge to the right. Now drag the left hand edge to the left. Drag the upper edge upwards and the lower edge downwards. You should now see. Page 100. Golden square, glowing brightly in front of you, a little larger than your hand. If your visualization skills are poor, pretend. It works just as well. Now reach in with both hands and pull the vertical edges out to the side as far as you can. Reach in with your hands and pull the horizontal edges up and down at the same time. You should now have a large glowing golden square in front of you. Know that this is not a flat square, but an opening. Reach through the golden square. You can close your eyes if it helps, and feel around until you find gold. It may be in the form of golden. Page 101. Coins, nuggets, rings, or bars of gold. Whatever you sense, grasp it tightly and pull it out of the square. Let the heavy gold in your hands dissolve into your hands as the light of the square fades away. Although this is quite a long description, it takes only seconds to perform this ritual. The second part of the ritual uses this charged talisman. Page 102. Page 103. Place the talisman before you, on the floor or table, where it can easily be seen. Say the following words out loud. I am grateful for all that I have. I am humble when I revel in the wonders of power. As you say the first sentence, take a few moments to think of things that you are truly grateful for. This may be the breakfast you enjoyed, good news you received, an attractive face you looked at, or good cup of coffee. Don't try to be grand and impressive, but simply think of recent pleasures that genuinely make. Page 104. You feel grateful. As you read the second sentence, you are making a pact. You are promising that when you receive wealth, you will be impressed and grateful for the wealth, but you will not show off and try to impress people with your riches. Consider these thoughts as you say the words. If you need to, say these sentences 3 times to make sure you actually feel the words. In the next part of this ritual, you are calling on spirits that give power to the final part of the ritual. At this point you, page 105, do not need to focus intently on the talisman. Instead, focus on the sound of the words you are saying. Say, Sina, Mises, Tanaim, Borsal, Misanthos. Sina, Misas, Tanaim, Borsal, Misanthos. Notice whatever light is in the room or space you are working in. Thematos, Benaser, Elianter, Tomatos, Benasser, Elianter. Close your eyes. Notice the darkness. Page 106. 7 times, say, Lidau, Iser, Osnes, Lido, Iser, Osnas. Know that 7 spirits who are named in the talisman are ready to be called. Open your eyes and look at your talisman. Imagine a soft light on your left and right, as though you have placed candles to either side of the talisman. Imagine a raging fire before you, coming from the talisman. Page 107. Say, Descendimus aver. Descendiamus aver, udescendat et descendat. Udascendat et descendat modus inter duos. Motus inter duos, nova inventa in lucem. Nova inventa in lucem, insigne corpus ex elementis. Insigne corpus ex elementis non est accidens. Non est accidens, mundus in mensa mea erant. Mundus in mensa mea aer. Page 108. And misser cum lapidibus sphaerum ad caeruleum birides gemmas. Miscere cum lapidi bias sphaerum ad caeruleum birides gemmas, et venet, et post hac futura. Et venet et post hac fedora, non sunt ossa mea. Non sunt ossa mea, specto, locus est medium. Specto, locus est medium, udambules in via ignis. Udamules in via ignis tempori movetur. Page 109. Tempor re movetur, imagine the sun. Imagine it as a vast ball of heat and flame, but then see it shrinking, so that in moments it becomes a star. As the sun shrinks, it moves inside your heart and resides there. Imagine this tiny pinprick of light within your heart, containing all the massive power and heat of the sun. Gaze at the talisman in front of you. Imagine it as a flame, the black lines becoming bright with the heat of fire. Let the fire die down to a bronze-colored light. Call clearly and with authority. Page 110. Onem, parents, racinastos, one I am, parentes, racionastos, as you say the words, know that you are summoning spirits of wealth. You may sense their presence upon first uttering the words. Repeat the words 2 more times, and you should feel a slight change in the atmosphere. Visualize a brass-colored light before you, glowing over the talisman. By calling the spirits, you have summoned this light. Picture gold coins raining down around. Page 111. You, as though being poured from huge sacks. Imagine that the coins glitter, hear them clattering on the ground around you. Know that they are yours. This only needs to take a moment. When somebody pours out a sack of gold for you, it takes only seconds. 7 spirits have been called to pour gold into your life, and 7 sacks of gold surround you. Know that the money is yours. To close the ritual, look up with your eyes closed and imagine a black raven flying away. When you look back down, the light and gold should be gone. Say the words. Page 112. Venerandum ignis non timeo. Veneranum ignis non timeo, et ignis non tolit. Et ignis non tolit, ignis concordium facit. Ignis concordium facit, the ritual is over. Put your talisman away where it will not be disturbed again until the next day. As always, after a ritual, you should busy yourself with a mundane task or something that occupies your mind. You can write down notes in your magical journal first, but you do not want to. Page 113. Dwell on possible results, so distract yourself with a friend, lover, or by eating and feasting as well as you can. When you complete the working for the last time, you should burn the talisman. Scatter the ashes at a crossroads if you can. In practical terms, be careful when burning paper. If you've read any of my books, you'll know that I seem almost paranoid about fire. Fire is dangerous, and when the occult is used, fire can act in unusual ways. Take precautions. Burn the paper in a safe way and discard the cool ashes, then wash your hands clean. If this is impractical, simply think of the paper as non-magical for a few days, then discard it in the trash. Page 114. The magic is underway. Be open to change and work at changing your life to one of wealth, but do not worry about where or how the magic is working. Know that you are being supported, and do not dwell on the magic itself. Page 115. Page 116. The second working, omnipotence transformation. In this working, you call on 3 angels of omnipotence to transform your life in a pact that will dedicate you to a life of wealth. Bear in mind that angels of omnipotence can bend time, reshape thought, and shift the reality around you. This is not always a pleasant experience, and it is almost always disruptive. The angels are not cruel or aggressive, but bring about the change you need, and that can be a little uncomfortable at first. Page 117. There may be days where you feel depressed, exhausted, and times when this working seems to be pointless. The only way out is through. Keep doing the working, and these angels will be bound to you, ensuring that your life changes in ways that makes way for wealth. All the magic that follows is empowered by this single working. It takes courage to ask these angels for such a dramatic change, so be certain you know what sort of a life you want. If you do not put any effort into achieving the life you want, these angels will not support the other rituals in this book, so you need to put in your share of. Page 118. The effort. Imagine, for example, that you were an actor and you were signed by the best agent in town. The agent gets you 3 auditions a week, but you don't turn up for any of them. You'll never get an acting job. Imagine you're an Olympic swimmer and you train and train and train, but when it comes to the race, you choose not to take part. You'll never win a race. You should think of Magick as the training, the preparation. You still have to get out there and live the life you want to live. You're swearing angels that you want a wealthy life, so if you sit back and act as though nothing is changing, they won't respond well. Page 119. Your laziness. What does this mean in the real world? It means that you make your life about wealth. You define what wealth is, and you make your life about living in that state of wealth. Do not make your life about seeking wealth, or you will always be seeking it. Make your life about living with the wealth you desire. Commit to that and these angels will reward you. You do not have to remain bound to the angels forever. When you feel you have enough wealth and stop seeking more, the angels will know and will withdraw. Page 120. To contact angels of any kind can require enormous amounts of preparation, and many occultists would have you meditating and purifying yourself for months before even attempting contact. With the method and talisman provided, the angels will hear you. Whatever angels may actually be, and there is much debate about this amongst occultists, they do come easily when called, and will help you if you are willing to help yourself. There is a standard notion that demons work quickly and angels work slowly. I think this is a misunderstanding. Angels work on a large scale, looking at years rather than days, so it may seem that they. Page 121. Work slowly. But they can work extremely quickly. You may notice changes within minutes, or it may take weeks and months. Know that this work is worthwhile. Keep performing the daily practice and perform the following working for 33 days. Ideally, work every day for 33 days. If you miss a day, make it up at a later time. At the end of the 33 days, you do not need to call on these angels again, as they will be bound to. The ritual itself is simple. It may seem complicated when you read this chapter, but after performing it a couple of times, you will see it is not difficult. Page 122. You will need to create and power this talisman. Page 123. As well as calling our words of power and angelic names, you will be required to sing the angel names. Do not worry if you cannot sing. All that is required is that you attempt to sing the name. There is no right or wrong. All that matters is that you try. First, you call upon the angel by saying its name. Then, the final call is sung. So the name Alubatel, which is pronounced L-U-B-A-T-L, might be sung on a single note, or 4 notes that occur for each syllable. Do not be afraid to sing to the angels. I'm sure you've heard of angelic choirs, so be aware that this is one of the greatest secrets for angelic contact that we have ever discovered. If. Page 124. Sing the name, contact is almost instantaneous. Place the talisman before you and observe it for a few moments, keeping your mind blank. The pentagrams in this talisman are used to unsettle reality slightly, so gaze on them for a moment, as this makes angelic contact much easier. Take a moment to consider the universe and its vast workings. Consider your body. Know that it was born helpless, and that flesh will fall from your bones and rot. Page 125. Consider your brief time on earth, and know that you can help those around you through your rich and successful work. Feel grateful for the opportunity to live a life where you can experience wealth and the pleasure that comes with wealth. Consider that you will have power to change the world, to have things built, moved, changed through your wealth, and that you can live a life of pleasure. These few considerations should take less than 2 minutes, but they should on no account be omitted. Wherever you are, imagine a light breeze on your skin. If you are inside. Page 126. Imagine. If you are outside in a storm, imagine. If you are outside in a light breeze, simply appreciate the breeze and feel how it seems to blow right through your body. Face east and say, Elijah Elijah Lamanathan, Ali Jar Lay Jar Lo Minotheon. Imagine the light breeze is now filled with white light. White light blows through you, gently. Clearly and slowly call for the attention of the angels by saying, page 127. Ilium yena adene kata zebri leloila agil, ioni sachat anosisilas aloim de leomar alin lalilia yazis azal palilman unalavella delatum sede alma panime alum canal densi usami yasas calipi calphas sasna safa sato jaglata pantamal amri lazian fanatin sars panarian ya emmanuel ja jalaf amphia than domirial alawan, leem yoeno ado nakad asabre leloi elagai ioni sac adonos uss alas eloim de leomar elin lalelia. Page 128. Yazis azal pali el manan el ovala dil adam sad ialma panam lim canal den siu sarmi ya sas calipi cal fast sas nar safa sado yarag larta panto melam riel as en fanadon sarzi penarion yar manuel yad yalaf firthan dam ira el and glance down at the sigil and know it. Page 129. Opens a gateway to the angels. Take a moment to feel the breeze of white light pass through you, and call for the three angels of omnipotence by calling out, Laguman Emmanuel therefore meklag lagal yazi zazel, lag umen Emmanuel thafor meklag lagel yarzi zaziel. Glance at the sigil, and then face east and call, Alubatel, 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 El Ubat. Page 130. El Ubat. Turn to the west and repeat the call. Turn to the south and repeat the call. Turn to the north. Glance at the sigil, and then face east and sing, Alubatel, 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 El Ubatel. Turn to the west and repeat the singing call. Turn to the south and repeat the singing call. Turn to the north and repeat the singing call. Page 131. Alubatel is now present and will wait for you. You may sense the presence of the angel, or you may feel nothing, but Alubatel is waiting for you. Glance down at the sigil for a moment, and then face east and call, Ibahuel, 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 Ebuhuel, Ebuhuel, Ebuhuel. Turn to the west. Turn to the south and repeat the call. Turn to the north and repeat the call. Glance at the sigil, and then face east and sing. Page 132. Ibahuel, 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 Ebuhuel, Ebuhuel, Ebuhuel. Turn to the west and repeat the singing call. Turn to the south and repeat the singing. Turn to the north. Ibahuel is now present and will wait for you. Glance at the sigil, and then face east and call, Atuswell, 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 at USUL, at U. Page 133. SUL, at USUL. Turn to the west and repeat the call. Turn to the south and repeat the call. Turn to the north. Glance at the sigil, and then face east and sing, Atuswell, 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 at USUL, at USUL, at USUL. Turn to the west. Turn to the south and repeat the singing. Turn to the north and repeat. Page 134. Singing call. Atuswell is now present and will wait for you. Put your right hand over the talisman and say, I call on you mighty angels, Alubatel, El Ubatel, Ibahuel, Ebuhuel, and Atuswell, at USUL, to carry me through life in a state of limitless wealth. I call on you to let wealth flow to me and through me. I call on you to shift time, bend reality, and lay before me a path that guides me. Page 135. Live a life of wealth. I seal this with the word of power, Anafaxidon, Anafaxidon. Take your hand from the talisman. Notice the breeze of white light blowing through you. There is no closing to this ceremony. You do not banish the angels because they are going to walk with you. Ideally, perform this working before you are about to busy yourself with some task or journey, so that you don't dwell on the angelic contact or what it may mean. Continue for 33 days. When you perform. Page 136. It for the final time, know that you are asking the angels to stay with you on your journey. There is no need for a formal request. They will know what you are planning and will work accordingly. Some people choose to keep this talisman with them, stored in a safe and secret place, or you can dispose of it as you did with the first talisman. Remain alert and welcome change. Every disaster is a gift in disguise. During these weeks you will experience disruption, but you will also sense the greatness that awaits you. Page 137. Page 138. The third working, attract more money after the power shifts of the second working. This ritual is kept quite low-key and is aimed at getting more money flowing through your life. Wealth isn't about saving so much as it is about trusting a greater flow of money into your life and back out as you spend it well. This ritual gets the money flowing in and gives you the opportunity to begin spending with pleasure. Calvarnia is a spirit working under Armadillo. The talisman below is used to gain rapid access to this spirit without the extensive rituals that are usually. Page 139. Required. Despite this, the sigil and its magical construction ensure that you will be kept safe. Be aware that the circular sigil at the top of the central square is the seal of Armadillo. The seal of Calvarnia is the image at the lower half of the central square. When talking to Calvarnia, you may want to stare directly as his seal. Page 140. Page 141. You will also need this seal of calling. Page 142. Place the talisman of Calvarnia before you, while facing north. On the left of this, place the seal of calling. Stare at the seal of calling for a moment, then put your left hand over it and say, Ahizarije Kamaijan, Ahezer Re Yakam Idion, Seedlegit Thamos, Sedai Leyi Tomas, Sasmagata Bijalijkos, Sasmar Gartar Ble Kos, Ju Eloich Zawim, Ju Eloi Zorayim. Page 143. Look at the talisman of Calvarnia and say, I conjure the mighty and potent Duke Calvarnia, Calvar Niar, who ruleth under King Armadil, Armor-DL, in the northeast. I conjure thee Calvarnia, Calvar Niar, in the names of Adonai, El, Heliorin, Adonai, El, Heliorin, Tetragrammaton and Anafaxidon. Tetragrammaton and Anafaxidon. Page 144. I ask that you let wealth flow into me and through me. Now speak to Calvarnia as though you can sense the spirit's presence. Stare at the symbol of Calvarnia and speak as though you can be heard. Tell Calvarnia the poverty and lack you have felt and describe the transformation you want to take place. Do not tell Calvarnia how to do this work or define how the wealth should come to you, but you should tell Calvarnia what you will do with wealth. You can be brief, summing up the poverty or average income you have endured, how you will celebrate. Page 145. Use wealth that flows through you. When you are finished, say, I let go of my fears because I know that you will let wealth flow through me. As you came in peace, go in peace. To close the ritual, turn the talisman upside down so you cannot see the images. Take a few breaths and then put the talisman away where it will be safe. Distract yourself with something non-magical. Repeat this ritual each day, along with the daily practice for 22 days. Page 146. When the 22 days are complete, bury the sigil in a place that you are fond of but not in your own property. You can roll the paper up into a small ball and put it into the ground without any great ceremony. If you feel or think anything at all, simply be grateful for the wealth the Calvarnia brings. As always, if this form of ritual disposal is inconvenient, you can dispose of it casually, as described earlier. Regardless of where you are on your journey to wealth, you should keep going with these workings. Remember that magic can take months to manifest, and it is better to push through and keep. Page 147. Performing this magic than to let it fall away. Page 148. Page 149. The fourth working, the talisman of wealth. The angel in charge of this talisman is Raziel. The exact way to call Raziel and the history behind this is discussed in my book on magical angels, but all you need to know for this working is the invocation that follows. Say the words phonetically, the ones in capitals, and know that you are calling Raziel to work through this talisman. Page 150. Page 151. Prepare and charge the talisman as you have been instructed. Before this ritual, know that there are certain moments where you will be required to imagine several scenes briefly. For example, at one point you will say, I pass through the arch of stone. Imagine yourself walking through an archway made of stone. There is no correct way to do this. Just picture something as close to the words you are saying as possible. The image may change over time as you perform the ritual, or it may solidify into something quite distinct. Simply say the words and picture what you can and feel the. Page 152. Sensations being described as you say them out loud. Place the talisman before you. Say, this is the beginning. I open the way. Reach forward and make a gesture as though opening drapes or curtains, parting them so you can pass through. Say, I call on the inner planes to witness. I state my purpose thus. Page 153. Nakar yord he varv he nakar yord he varv he nakar yord he varv he. I pass through the arch of stone. I walk through a field of golden corn. I am warmed by fire of the sun. I am cooled by water of the ocean. I am steady on the firm earth. I breathe a sweet breeze. I feel the weight of the earth beneath me. I ask, how did I get to be at peace? I ask, how did I come to let go of fear? I ask, how did I learn to manifest my wishes? Page 154. I call on the mighty Arzel, who stands in the east, to assist me in this and all my ventures. Kosu harem silla vanafea Arzel, Kosu har I am silla va fiha Arzel. I call on the mighty Raziel, who stands in the east, to connect me to the secrets of the universe. Page 155. Raziel say, specie tua et pulcritudine tua intent, prospere proceed, et regna, propter veritatem, et mansuetudinem, et justitiam, et deducit te mirabiliter dextera tua. Speci tuor et pulcritudine tua and de, prosperi proc et I et regnar, propter, veritatem. Page 156. Et mansue tu dinem, et justitiam, et deduc et te mirabiliter dextera tuar, O mighty Raziel, empower this talisman to bring me great wealth. Let riches flow to me through the power of this sacred symbol. Raziel, I seal this request with the words of power Anafaxidon. As you have come in peace, go in peace. Page 157. Perform this working for 22 days. Don't let anybody else touch the talisman. When the working is complete, you have several options. One is to store the talisman somewhere secret but near to where you work. Another is to fold it up unceremoniously and carry it around in your wallet. You can also roll it up and fold it so that it fits inside a trinket and wear it around your neck. Whatever you choose, make sure that the talisman is close to you several times a week and that you remain aware of its presence. Some people keep this forever, and others let it go in the usual way, when they feel their wealth is flowing. Page 158. Page 159. The fifth working, changes in competition. This working is aimed at stimulating change and growth in your life, and will also help to defeat competition. While working this ritual, you may find this is an ideal time to launch a new project, begin new marketing, or put out the word about your skills. This working is almost identical to the first ritual, with only a few minor changes. Page 160. Page 161. Before you begin, charge the talisman. Place the talisman before you, on the floor or table, where it can easily be seen. Say the following words out loud. I am grateful for all that I have. I am humble when I revel in the wonders of power. As you say the first sentence, take a few moments to think of things that you are truly grateful for. Think of recent pleasures that genuinely make you feel grateful. Page 162. Remember that as you read the second sentence, you are making a pact. You are promising that when your new projects go well, you will be grateful for the resultant wealth, and you will remain calm and humble as your wealth accumulates. Consider these thoughts as you say the words. If you need to, say these sentences 3 times to make sure you actually feel the words. In the next part of this ritual, you are calling on spirits that give power to the final part of the ritual. At this point, you do not need to focus intently on. Page 163. Talisman. Instead, focus on the sound of the words you are saying. Say, Sina, Mises, Tanaim, Borsal, Misanthos. Sina, Misas, Tanaim, Borsal, Misanthos. Notice whatever light is in the room or space you are working in. Thematos, Benisser, Elianter, Tomatos, Benasser, Elianter. Close your eyes. Notice the darkness. Page 164. 7 times, say, Lidau, Iser, Osnes, Lido, Iser, Osnas. Know that countless spirits, whose kings are named on the talisman, are ready to be called. Open your eyes and look at your talisman. Imagine a soft light on your left and right, as though you have placed candles to either side of the talisman. Imagine a raging fire before you, coming from the talisman. Page 165. Say, descendimus ab air. Descendiamus ab air, ut descendat et descendat. Ut ascendat et descendat modus inter duos. Motus inter duos, nova inventa in lucem. Nova inventa in lucem, insigne corpus ex elementis. Insigne corpus ex elementis non est accidens. Non est accidens, mundus in mensa mea erant. Mundus in mensa mea aer. Page 166. And misser cum lapidibus ferum ad caeruleum virides gemmas. Miscere cum lapid ibs ferum ad caeruleum virides gemmas, et venit, et post hac futura. Et venit et post hac fodora, non sunt ossa mea. Non sunt ossa mea, specto, locus est medium. Specto, locus est medium, udambules in via ignis. Udamules in via ignis. Page 167. Tempore movetur. Tempore movetur, imagine the sun. Imagine it as a vast ball of heat and flame, but then see it shrinking, so that in moments it becomes a star. As the sun shrinks, it moves inside your heart and resides there. Imagine this tiny pinprick of light within your heart, containing all the massive power and heat of the sun. Gaze at the talisman in front of you. Imagine it as a flame, the black lines becoming bright with the heat of fire. Let the fire die down to a light bronze-colored light. Page 168. Call clearly and with authority, Zorami, Zadux, Elastot, Zo-Ram-Ee, Zatus, Elastot, as you say the words, know that you are summoning spirits who will make competition fall away and propel all your new projects forward while making you more successful. You may sense the spirit's presence upon first uttering the words. Repeat the words 2 more times, and you should feel a slight change in the atmosphere. Visualize a silver-colored light before you, glowing over the talisman. Bye. Page 169. Calling the spirits, you have summoned this silvery light. Imagine that you are in the same place 1 year from now, and smile, knowing that all you desired has come to pass. Keep this simple. Do not spend time visualizing in detail. Simply pretend it is 1 year later, and everything is going according to plan. To close the ritual, imagine a storm cloud breaking open and raining down upon you. When you look back down at the sigil, the silvery light should have gone. Say the words. Page 170. Venerandum ignis non timeo. Veneranum ignis non timeo, et ignis non tolit. Et ignis non tolit, ignis concordium facit. Ignis concordium facit, the ritual is over. Put your talisman away where it will not be disturbed again until the next day. Busy yourself with a mundane task or something that occupies your mind. You can write down notes in your magical journal first, but you do not want to dwell on possible results, so distract yourself. Page 171. Continue this working for 17 days, then burn the talisman and discard the ashes at a crossroads, or dispose of it in the way previously described. Page 172. Page 173. The 6th working, for wealth and honor. This working may seem quite short when written down, but requires concentration to achieve good results. Your aim is to attract the attention of the spirit Anikel, who will give you wealth but also a good reputation. The way you are perceived is priceless, so this working is one of the most important as your opportunities begin to expand. Given the origin of these words, there is no suggested pronunciation. They should be read as they appear to. Do not worry about getting this wrong. Pronounce the words as you see them. Page 174. They will work. The wording of the request to Anikel should be said exactly as written. It may sound as though you are asking for help for others, but this wording is the best way to get Anikel to help. Sit in a quiet place. Put the charged talisman of Anikel in front of you. Page 175. Page 176. Imagine that there is a circle of white light on the floors around you, as though somebody has drawn it there with chalk, and that the chalk then came alight with brilliant white light. You do not to create or draw the circle. Simply become aware that it is there. The talisman of Anikel should be inside the imagined circle with, say, Tetragrammaton, Theos, Ishiros, Athanatos, Messiahs, Imas, Kyrie eleison. Take a moment to know that Anikel has already been stirred. The talisman is Page 177. Within your circle and the magic has begun. The words you now speak are a way of getting Anikel to listen to your desires. Say each word deliberately, and with each word, know that you are calling to Anikel. Do not think of Anikel as a distant spirit who can barely hear. Anikel can hear every word from the first, but by saying all these words you are making a pact that you will speak and Anikel will listen to your request. Say, Theos, Abba, Zaba, Abba, Agathos Wij, Izawai, Uwitho, Zardos, Quiso, Ashidros, Simoi. Page 178. Zawadim, Gefoya, Zarob, Wegetli, Figathorawij, Meso, Zalos, Wegathorso, Wephatho, Easybo, Story with Anij, Korathan, Sijabo, Mephor, Wijos, Ziloros, Quetho, Zebethanajuos, Zijwith, Ikari, Ruathono, Kiatasawij, Zebeth, Messiahs, Anikel. Anikel is now ready to do what you ask. Say, Anikel, I ask that you bestow upon me great wealth and honors. Let wealth flow to me and through me. Let people admire my work and see me as a creative leader who will guide them to success. I bind this with the words. Page 179. Zebeth, Abatho, Tetragrammaton, Adonij, Abathoi, Ziha, Aglij, Quohau, Agla, Muidroshoeth, Falawij, Agla, Theos, Mizjaz, Zijwathororim, Fegoo, Abba, Mowo, Sho, Adonij, Swo, Christohatos, Tetragrammaton. As you came in peace, Anikel, go in peace with the words Zebeth, Theos, Iskairos, Messiahs, Imez, Weghamko, Quoheos, Rovaim, Christos, Abe, Zebepharim, Agla. Turn the talisman upside down so that. Page 180. You cannot see its image, and take a few breaths. Anikel is no longer present. Repeat this ritual for 11 days. Some people prefer to go for longer, because they sense immediate results. You can keep working with Anikel for as long as you desire. Don't forget to keep up the daily practice, which is part of the process that connects you to all the rituals through the angels of omnipotence. When the working is completed for the last time, you should bury the talisman in a place that you are fond of other than your own property, but do not screw it up or roll it into a tube. Instead, it should. Page 181. Be buried flat, so you can see the sigil clearly before you cover it with earth. This may be difficult, but not impossible, if you live in the city. You do not have to dispose of the talisman immediately. If you know you will be visiting an outdoor area within a week or so, wait for that occasion. Make sure you are not seen, as you do not want anybody to dig up your talisman. As always, if this is impractical, you can simply wait until it feels non-magical and throw it away. Page 182. Page 183. The seventh working, a demon of wealth. The final working employs a demon of wealth who can attract new opportunities, bring good luck, and increase the wealth you already possess. The entities you have employed during the workings in this book have included angels and demons, and each time you get the help of an angel, it usually orders demons to do most of the work, so do not be afraid of calling this demon directly. Everything about this working has been designed to ensure it is safe. Page 184. Most of the words below need no pronunciation guide. Read them out loud as you see them and they will work. A few are shown in capitals when the exact pronunciation is important. Note that as you speak these, you are calling the spirit Klonek. The pronunciation of Klonek is important. The first part is clown and the second is ek. Clown ek. Charge this talisman, and then shortly after sunset, or as close to sunset as possible, place the talisman before you. Page 185. Page 186. Page 187. Consider the universe and know that you are unprotected, vulnerable to chaos. At any moment, your heart could stop. At any moment, there could be an accident. At any moment, you could be attacked. Know that although you are unprotected, you have made yourself safe by putting magical power under your control. When this thought is clear, say, Osermi delmusin adelsloim charisahoa melanie liamintho kalehan paran madoin merloi bularator donmido hon paloi I basal me and alimdrictals person chrysol se lemon cecil nadur. Page 188. Porial punt halman asafil ilnostrian beniel vermias sleever noelma dorsamad lavala omor framgam beldor dramgan cum, klonek clonek by the power of the sacred names of Adonai, El, and Elohim, Elohim. Speak to Klonek, staring at the talisman, telling him that you want your wealth to expand. Do not specify how you want the wealth increase to arise, but tell Klonek what you will do with the wealth, and how you will revel, feast and bathe in the glory of riches. When you are done, say. Page 189. Go in peace, Klonek, whence you came, peace be with you, and come every time I shall call you. Turn the talisman upside down and take a few breaths. Klonek will no longer be present. Continue this working for 22 days. When you are done, burn the sigil and gaze into the flames as the sigil burns. Discard the ashes at a crossroads if practical. Page 190. Page 191. When the magic works, and if you perform all the workings in this book, as described, and turn your life towards wealth making, you cannot fail but to see increase in your life. Above all else, enjoy spending. If you are in debt, enjoy getting out of debt. And then enjoy spending, sharing and living the wealthy life. There is great magic in the rich enjoyment of what you have and what you release to others. Like the Facebook page for tips and ideas. https://www.facebook.com, Gallery of Magick. Page 192. My Gallery of Magick blog contains more advice, updated on a regular basis. www.galleryofmagick.com. If you want to ramp up the power of the rituals in this book, you could also check out Adventures in Sex Magic, but be warned that it's not a book for the timid, and contains some pretty extreme ideas. But it certainly adds power to all your magic. http://galleryofmagick.com, 2014/08/24, Sex Magic Unleashed. If you have questions, please check out the FAQ. Page 193. http://galleryofmagick.com, Damon Brand Magic FAQ, Damon Brand. Document finished.